And we're back here on the Fowler Show. Now listen, beyond the presidential race, there's a lot of other races that happen all across the country. And to make those races possible, there has to be organization. America, we know about organization, how important it is. Yes, class, we do. And joining me to talk about it is one of the representatives from Act Blue. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
Right?
I'm Erin, yes.
Oh, we're talking here. So tell me, what for those folks out there, I know what it does, but what is Act Blue and what do they do?
So Act Blue is a nonprofit fundraising platform for the entire Democratic Party. We work with campaigns from the biggest, so presidential campaigns, all of Bernie Sanders' fundraising came through us, all the way down to school committee races in a lot of places, and then we also work with charities and other groups. And we offer all of our technology for free to all of these organizations. So if you got a fundraising email from any of them and click the button that said click here to give $5, you probably came to an Act Blue page. And we store, make it easy for donors to give. We store their information for them so they can give with one click and they don't have to keep entering each time. And we try to be able to optimize software for everybody to use so more people can participate in the political process.
So tell me now, what is the number one, so from your vantage point, so you're looking at behind, there's all this money in politics and all that stuff that is probably impossible to work out. How do you guys do it all?
You know, we try to internalize all of the complexity. That's why we're a nonprofit. We do all this hard stuff so that it's super easy for everybody else. We have helped thousands and thousands of Democrats raise $1.3 billion.
$1.3 billion, America.
With an average contribution size of $30. So that's a ton of people who are making all of those small dollar contributions, adding up to real change. And we do all of that so that at the end of the day, it's easier for people to participate because that's what makes our democracy better, when you have all of these small dollar donors chipping in and having a stake in the system.
So you see all the races, you know where the money goes. What's the one race outside of the presidential race that folks should be paying attention to? What should they be looking for? Which race is going to be the race?
You know, I think across the board with the Senate races, there's a lot of excitement, particularly with all the women who are on the ballot who are running for the Senate this year. And I think people are really excited about that. And we're seeing actually double the contribution rates across Senate races, across all the Senate races that we've seen in past election cycles.
What's the one to watch though? I think people want, like, I mean, on election night, when folks are sitting in front of their computer, I'll probably be sitting behind a desk like this one. What's the race that people should watch?
Well, I don't want to single out anyone out there, but
you can do it. Trust me.
I think people are very excited about watching Governor Maggie Hassan in New Hampshire, because New Hampshire is going to be a really important state.
Hassan versus
Kelly Ayotte, yeah. And I think people are really excited.
And how's the fundraising going on that race?
You know, we don't really talk about any of the particular fundraising, but across the board, we're seeing lots and lots of small dollar donors coming in to all of these different races.
Just so we know, why that race? Now I'm curious. Now I want to delve deeper.
Well, like I said, I think all of people are really excited about the Senate. I think a lot of small dollar donors are really fired up with Donald Trump at the top of the ticket, and I think that they are paying attention to who associates with him and what the Republican Party really stands for. And so I think a lot of these races people are getting really excited about, and not only do they want Hillary Clinton to be president, they want us to take back the Senate so that she has the ability to govern. They want us to get gains in the House so that she can pass some of this legislation that she's been promising. And I think small dollar donors, because it's easy for them to take action in small levels when they get those messages, want to do that.
Speaking on the Maggie Hassan race, so is the money on the Maggie Hassan race coming in state, or is coming from all across the country pouring in?
You know, I can't really comment about where all the fundraising is coming, but I think the good thing about an Act Blue platform is that it lets donors connect with whoever's message resonates with them across the country. The internet has no borders, so it makes it really easy to do that.
We have no borders. That's why we're on YouTube.
And also to connect with all of the folks in your state and really build stronger relationships with these communities of donors, which you really couldn't do before the internet. Technology just wouldn't let campaigns scale in this way, and now you can have millions and millions of people be part of all of your races. So whether it's Maggie Hassan or whether it's one of the other dozen races that are up for the U.S. Senate this year, you get a lot more people who are involved in that campaign. It makes them stronger.
Well, and and I think that's a good point. And Eisenhower is famous for saying, like, all politics are local, and I think what Act Blue does so well, somebody who's used the software, who's given to candidates, and who's somebody who's been, as a young Democrat, who used the software as a back-end user, is it really allows for folks on the local level, making sure your filings are on time.
Definitely,
we
try to remove the barrier of entry. So not only to make it easier for a donor to not have to worry about the rules, just know that they can click a button, they can make a contribution just like they'd buy something on Amazon, and we'll take care of all the hard stuff. And also for campaigns, like you said, small campaigns, especially, such an act of courage to run for office in this day and age, and there's so many rules involved with it. So anything we can do to make that easier and help people, especially people without traditional power structures, to tap into that and be able to get their voices heard, we want to do.
Absolutely. I could have said it better myself. So Erin, what's the next frontier for ActBlue?
So we are recently opening up to working with charities because, especially for small dollar donors, people just want to give to causes that matter to them.
So very similar to like a Kickstarter or Indiegogo. Or...
Yeah, or the same kind of stuff that we're doing with campaigns, using that same technology, but with 501c3s, so charity organizations, so Cancer Society or the Red Cross or any of the other organizations that people want to support. And I think the thing that will be really important for that is that it can share a technical platform with all of the political stuff, and that means those donors who save their information with us, and we have over 3 million who do, will be able to give to anything that matters to them, all in the same place, and that'll help them give more and also help them to really see and quantify their power.
I love that, seeing and quantifying your power. That's just something that you hear a lot, because I think when you think about these type of races and you think about it, people don't understand that if 50 people give $20 to a school board race, that can be the difference in winning and losing.
Totally.
And I mean, I think what the right has figured out. The Koch brothers, they say, listen, we can drop $1 million on a school board and we could utterly change the whole fiber of a neighborhood. So the only way we beat back that type of power is local donors coming in and acting blue.
Well, and here's the thing, when you have somebody like the Koch brothers or Sheldon Adelson writing these large checks, that's one person. That's one person's views who get to be important. When you have a campaign that has 1,000 people who are writing $50 checks, then suddenly you have more democratization in terms of the policies that people are supporting, because you're not just supporting the whims of one person, you're supporting what those 1,000 people need, and that's inherently more progressive, inherently more democratic, and I think it's making our country fit for the better.
So when does the nonprofit platform roll out?
The nonprofit platform was just recently rolled out. We have a few who have already started. So
I want to know.
A few early adopters. We don't usually talk about the people who are using our platform, but they have started, and if you have a charity that you would like to support, let us know, and we will get them up and running ASAP so that you can start giving for them.
Folks, so if you have a charity that you give to, and I'm assuming you already get to progressive candidates, so you already have an ActBlue profile, you might want to email ActBlue or email your charity and be like, hey, talk to ActBlue, let's figure this thing out.
And the important thing to note is that because we're a nonprofit, we do not charge to use our tools.
And so if you're trying to start if you're running for office, if you have a Young Democrats chapter, you have a local issue campaign.
There's no risk, no reward. Come test us out, let us help.
Come test out ActBlue. I tell you, I've been a user. I can tell you it's a good product. And clearly, they have surrogates now. Erin's out here as a surrogate. Last year, 4 years ago, they didn't have surrogates. So clearly you guys are growing leaps and bounds, which is impressive. And tell me something. What do you want the folks at home to know?
I want them to know that in this election, where I think there's a lot of negativity and there's a lot of cynicism, particularly from the Republican side, that there are millions and millions of small dollar donors out there who care about our nation and care about what's happening, and they're all out there making contributions every day because they want Democrats to have everything they need to win in November, and they're going out there and they're getting to the polls and they're going to be voting, and everybody should do that, so why aren't you?
Everybody should do it. Everybody should vote. Everybody should give. I got to go to a commercial break to pay some bills so we can keep giving to you guys. We'll be right back after this break. Thank you.